Assalamu alaikum students. Now we are going to start our new topic, Islamic verses. Actually, up till now we have read all about biology, its branches and its relation to other sciences. We have to study what Allah says in Quran about biology, animals, plants and their significance. Now start your copywork. I will explain it also. Write down the question. Write down the Quranic teaching about significance of water for plants and animals. Our main heading is significance of water for plants and animals. Our side heading is for animals. Now centralize the verse. And Allah has created every animals of water. Of them is a kind that goes upon its belly, and a kind that goes upon 2 legs, and a kind that goes upon 4. Allah creates what He will. Lo, Allah is able to do all things. This verse is from Surah Al-Nur. Now our side heading is for plants. Centralize the verse. Who has appointed the earth as a bed and has threaded roads for you therein, and has sent the water for you from the sky, and thereby we have brought forth diverse kind of vegetation. This surah is from Surah Taha. Now I am going to explain first verse, which is from Surah Nur. In this verse Allah says that Allah creates all animals of water. Now a question arises, how it is possible? By researches we see that all living things are made up of protoplasm, which is actually water. Our body also consists of 70% of water. Now we understand that we are all made up of water. Then Allah is giving the example of different types of creatures which He made, as He is able to make all things. He says that He made some animals who goes upon their bellies like reptiles, and example is lizard. He made some animals who goes upon 2 legs like human beings. He made some creatures who goes upon 4 legs like horses, camels, etc. And Allah is creator of everything, and He is able to do all things. The second verse is from Surah Taha. In this verse, Allah is realizing that He made earth as a bed where we live and pours rainwater from sky, and He also made different types of plants and vegetation, and you know that rainwater is also beneficial for this vegetation to grow. I have another Quranic verse about usefulness of plant and animal to human welfare. Now write down the question. Write down Quranic verse about usefulness of plant and animals to human welfare. Write down the main heading, usefulness of plants and animals to human welfare. Our side heading is for animals. Now verse is, and lo, the cattle, there is lesson for you. We give you to drink of that which is in their bellies, from betwixt the refuse and the blood, pure milk potable to the drinkers. This verse is from Surah Al-Nahl, ayat number 66. Now side heading is for plants. Write down the verse. It will be centralized. And the earth we spread out and placed therein firm hills, and caused each seemly things to grow therein. This verse is from Surah Al-Hijr. Now, I will explain these two verses one by one. First verse is about usefulness of animals for human welfare. In this verse, Allah says that in the cattle there is lesson for us to learn, and He has given example of cattle from which we get milk. He says that we have given milk to drink, which is present in the stomach or bellies of these animals, and there are two things present in these bellies. One is wastage and other is blood, and from between these two things Allah produced milk for us to drink. Now I will explain usefulness of plants for human welfare. In Surah Hijr, Allah says that He spread out earth for us to live in and made firm mountains, and we also can see plants and vegetation in it. Actually, Allah Ta'ala is giving these examples of earth, mountain and vegetation which are made for us and are very beneficial for us. We are going to learn about Islamic views about origin of life. Okay, now in this lecture we are studying about Islamic views about how our lives start. Okay, now our heading is, which is main heading, Islamic views about origin of life. Write down from next line. Living and non-living things both are created by Allah. There are several verses of Quran in this regard. Few are quoted below. Number 1, centralized it. We did create man from an essence of clay. This verse is from Surah Al-Mu'minun. Number 2, He, Allah, who created all things in the best way. He first created man from clay, then bred his offspring from a drop of poultry fluid. He then molded him and breathed into him of his spirit. He gave your eyes and ears and hearts, yet you are seldom thankful. This verse is from Surah Al-Sajda. Now I will explain these verses. In first verse, Allah says that He created man from the combination of dust and water. Okay. In second surah, which is Surah Al-Sajda, Allah says that Allah created all things beautifully and in the best way. And in this regard, He gave an example of creation of man, in which Allah explained the developmental stages of man. Okay, He says that He first created man from the dust, यानी जो पहला जो है क्रिएट किया था अल्लाह ताला ने इंसान, जो कि हज़रत आदम थे, वो उन्होंने उनको डस्ट से पैदा किया. एंड देन create his offspring by very small amount of fluid. Okay, and then made his structure and then give him life by giving him a spirit. He also give him eyes, ears and heart, but the man is very ungrateful and never thankful for his blessing.